So, shalom, shalom, my viewer and my listener. And the song says, Gĩkĩkĩrĩra kĩa watho, gĩkĩkĩrĩra kĩa watho nĩ ũhoro ũrĩa wa ma. Ũhoro ũrĩa wa ma naguo ti ũngĩ nĩ maathani. Na wacha nisiseme kwa Kikuyu, nilikuwa nataka kusema okay, one of the commandments, it's the commandment of the Sabbath. So that song is the first one which I did, and it is Eka Kaudo. So if you go search Eka Kaudo by Joyce aka Daughter of Zion, you'll find it there. So you listen, write, comment, and I said it is in Kikuyu, yes, but the ones have been translated into English. So it is, it can be anybody can watch, because even if you don't understand Kikuyu, you will be able to read the translation of the ones. So welcome. Well, there, kindly subscribe, like, comment, and God bless you so, so much. Thank you, my subscribers. May God richly bless you. If you have not subscribed to this channel, let me kindly request you to subscribe, and our good God will bless you so, so much. And so, shalom, shalom, and welcome to part 4. We are still talking about the Sabbath, and today I want us to read from the book of Matthew chapter 12. We'll read up to verses 14, and we want to look at the Lord of the Sabbath and what Jesus said about removing the donkey from the pit. So we'll read up to verses 14, but we'll not read all of it. We'll read bit by bit. So let's read. Let's read from verses 1. At that time, Jesus went through the cornfield on the Sabbath. His disciples were hungry and began to pick some ears of corn and ate them. When the Pharisees saw this, they said to him, "Look, your disciples are doing what is unlawful on the Sabbath." He answered, "Haven't you read what David did when he and his companions were hungry? He entered the house of God, and he and his companions ate the consecrated bread, which was not lawful for them to do, but only for the priests. Or haven't you read in the law that on the Sabbath the priests in the temple desecrate the Sabbath and yet are innocent? 6. I tell you that one greater than the temple is here. If you had known what these words mean, I desire mercy, not sacrifice, you would have not condemned the innocent, for the Son of Man is the Lord of the Sabbath. So here, the Pharisees are accusing the disciples of Jesus for doing what is unlawful on the Sabbath. And what had they done? They had picked the ears of corn and ate. And that was on a Sabbath. Remember, we said in the previous videos that we rest from all customary work. We rest from our work, not God's work. That is why Jesus is moving along with his disciples. And of course, we know that wherever Jesus went, he did good. So, he is moving aloud, either teaching, hearing, or doing any of the good things that he did. Now, the disciples of Jesus picked corn and ate. So they did not pick corn to take home. They did not pick corn and carried it home. They only picked and ate from where they were, from the field. Therefore, there is no sin. Yeah? There is no sin there. That is why Jesus gave them the example of David and his men, what they did. They were hungry and they entered the house of God and ate the consecrated bread, which was not supposed to be eaten by them or anybody else apart from the priests. Jesus has also given them the example of the priests that they would burn. Or haven't you learned in the law that on the Sabbath the priests in the temple discreet the day and yet they are innocent? So he has also given the example of the priest. Remember we said that on a Sabbath we are not supposed to light a fire. So, but here Jesus has given an example of these priests that on Sabbath they light the fire to burn incense, to burn the sacrifice, and they are innocent. They are not guilty. Why? Because they are lighting the fire not to cook food to eat, but for the sacrifice. Now, verses 8 has said, "For the Son of Man is the Lord of the Sabbath." What does that mean? What does that mean, my dear viewer and my dear listener? Okay, it is unfortunate that most people who bring about the argument, about the Sabbath, and they say that they cannot keep the Sabbath because Jesus said he is the Lord of the Sabbath. Very unfortunate because they don't know that Jesus is the law. That commandment which says that remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy is indeed Jesus. And that is the reason why he said that he is the Lord of the Sabbath, because he is that very Sabbath. He is that very law. So, if we, the Pharisees also, if you read from verses 9, the Pharisees also accused Jesus because of healing on a Sabbath day, if you read from verses 9. Now, remember, I still repeat that we rest from our work, not God's work. And who heals? It is God. So God's work ought to continue even during the Sabbath, because they are saying, going on from that place, he went into the synagogue, and a man with a shriveled hand was there looking for a reason to accuse him. They asked him if it was lawful to heal on a Sabbath. So they are just looking for reasons to use to accuse Jesus. Okay, let's learn from verses 10. Okay, I have read verses 10, then I continue with 11. And he said to them, if any of you has a sheep and it falls into a pit on the Sabbath, would you not take hold of it and lift it out? How much more valuable is a man than a sheep? Therefore is it lawful to do good on the Sabbath? Then he said to the man, stretch out your hand. So he stretched out his hand, he stretched it out, and it was completely restored, just as sound as the other. But the Pharisees went out and plotted how they might kill him. Now, we said we want to look at the part of where Jesus said that he is the Lord of the Sabbath, and I have said it is because he is that very law of the Sabbath, that very law that says that remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. He is that one. That law which says, do not have any other God apart from me. He is that very law. Jesus is the law. So if it is the fourth commandment, he is that. That is why he said he is the Lord, the Son of Man is the Lord of the Sabbath, and he is the Son of Man. Now, this part of removing, some translations use the donkey. This part of removing the sheep or the donkey from the pit is usually used by those people who work on a Sabbath, and they say that they are removing the donkey from the pit. But when Jesus was talking about the donkey falling into the pit, Jesus was talking about an emergency. He meant an emergency because, literally speaking, how many dogs fall on the pit in daily life? How often do donkeys fall on a pit? Even where you grew up from, even where you are at, even if you are in the rural area, when was the last time your donkey, your cow, or your sheep fell on a pit on a Sabbath? When? I don't think you remember your sheep, your goat, your cow literally falling on a pit on a Sabbath. No. Maybe it has never happened. Maybe you have even never heard of a neighbor's cow or sheep has fallen on a pit on a Sabbath. And where is that pit now? Unless you talk of a ditch, but not a pit. So that is now literally talking. That is so that we can know that Jesus was not talking about literally a donkey or a sheep falling on a pit. He meant an emergency. Because honestly speaking, if it really happened there, really, it could be something that has never been heard. So, Jesus was talking about an emergency. What he meant is that if you have an emergency on a Sabbath, you are allowed to handle that emergency and you will still be without sin. And that is why Jesus healed this person on a Sabbath. Like now, for instance, you are keeping the Sabbath and something happens on a Sabbath. Maybe somebody falls sick on a Sabbath because people are still falling sick. You can take that person to hospital. You can go and buy medicine for that person. Remember, we are not supposed to buy or sell. But this is an emergency that has taken place. So, let people not use that saying of Jesus about removing the donkey from the sheep, from the pit, because you can find somebody. You can find somebody working. Maybe he is in his own business, maybe selling things, and he says that I'm removing the donkey from the sheep. Maybe somebody is washing clothes on a Sabbath. I'm removing the donkey from the sheep. Now, that is not an emergency. You have 6 days to wash clothes. You have 6 days to sell in your business. But now the Sabbath, you cannot say that you have already opened your shop or business you are selling, or imagine you've been piling clothes for a whole week. Now you want to wash them on a Sabbath, and you say that you are removing the donkey from the pit. That would be a real joke. Because Jesus was talking about handling an emergency. So if you had piled clothes for a whole week, and now you want to wash them on a Sabbath and say that you are removing the donkey from the pit, it will be a big joke on your part. If you go to open your business on a Sabbath, don't say that you are removing the donkey from the pit, because you have a whole 6 days to open your business. So, Jesus was talking about emergency, an emergency, handling an emergency. It is allowed. You can handle an emergency and do what is prohibited on a Sabbath, and you'll still be innocent. So, shalom, shalom. That was part 4 of us looking at the Sabbath. God bless you so much for watching and listening. Kindly subscribe, like, and even comment, and God bless you so much. We'll continue with part 5 as we look at another thing that is related to the Sabbath. In the meantime, stay blessed. Shalom, shalom. Let's meet in the next video. Shalom.